Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome the board members of SNA to our short meeting to recap the materials offered to employees here at Spokes of Hope Worldwide about cultural competency. In our internal meetings, we talked about what is cultural competency, why is it important, and gave some examples of how cultural competency impacts communications and the important role it plays on people's relationships. Cultural competency can be defined as a level of skill required to work with a particular ethnic group. It is important because it can be rewarding to an individual. Cultural relativism helps one appreciate other cultural customs and practices. It also engages you and challenges your values to foster acceptance, diversity, empathy, and open-mindedness. I'd like to share an experience with you about how I view relationships in regards to cultural competency. Growing up at home, I recall a sunny Sunday afternoon where there was a knock on the door and my mother answers the door and there's a door-to-door salesman selling vacuum cleaners. He starts in with his pitch and my mother seems pretty interested, and after a while she invites him into the house. The salesman walks into the house, crosses the living room, and sits on the sofa. After a few minutes, my mom seems upset and dismisses him. What the salesman did not know was that in a Japanese household, one does not wear shoes inside the house. Had the salesman done his homework and studied a little bit about the Japanese culture, he would surely have taken off his shoes and probably landed that sale that day. The employees at Spokes of Hope has been given a handout, which everyone here also has received, about how culture impacts communication. I've included examples of John and Pedro, Mary and Tanha. What John didn't understand about Pedro's hesitation when he offered food was that in the Hispanic culture, one must be offered food 2 or 3 times before accepting. And what Mary didn't understand about the importance of saving face, which would be Tanha's dignity, was when she reprimanded her in front of other people. Because of these different cultural backgrounds, there'll be misunderstandings, miscommunications, hurt feelings, being offended, or being offensive. The handout explains other factors in cultures that may be verbal and nonverbal cues. Nonverbal cues includes eye contact, gesturing, and verbal cues may be the use of humor. One culture may interpret body language very differently than another. Humor in the workplace may seem funny to us, but may not translate in other cultures, and may be interpreted as harassing or an embarrassing situation. I also gave examples in the handout about a Japanese student in the United States and his relationship with his host family, his friends, and how social norms and cultural universals may be present but different in each society. What the Japanese student may value may not be the same as the host family, or at the party, which is a cultural universal. Every culture has a party, may be very different in this country compared to a party in the United States. To develop and maintain cultural relations, it is a very important skill because of modern day globalization and the use of internet. Business is not only a matter of monies or exchanges, but often built upon personal relationships. The social bonds that we create are just as important as business bonds. The cultural competencies will help our partnership with SNA because it will bring awareness, tolerance, and acceptance, and most importantly, lessen miscommunications. As professionals, we will engage in taking the responsibility to learn about other cultures and avoid ethnocentrism. Being ignorant of other culture can be misconstrued as offensive. Being aware of other cultures may offer creative solutions, new ways of thinking, and increased negotiating skills. Successful businesses aim for long-term relationships, and with current economic situations making it competitive, it is best to educate ourselves. I hope you feel that our efforts are adequate, and we look forward to working with SNA. Thank you very much.